Hey, welcome to our Friday afternoon broadcast. It feels like it's been forever since we've been able to connect with you guys live. We are joining you live on Facebook today. Make sure that when you click in with us that you leave us a comment so that we know that you are joining us live. Any questions or comments that you have, always feel free to go ahead and log those down in the comment section during our broadcast. We always go at the end of our broadcast and welcome everyone and answer any questions or comments. Today, Michael and I are going to share with you a little bit of how we're kind of wrapping up from our vacation, some takeaways that we want to share with you, and teach you how to recover well from any vacation that you are going to be going on, whether it's the summer or during a spring break, or maybe just even a little weekend getaway. We have really worked hard on making sure that when we go on vacation, it is not that thing that occupies us before we go on or preoccupies us and we kind of go into panic mode before we go on vacation. We really have worked on learning how to really enjoy ourselves when we are on vacation and then what we do as soon as we come back. And a lot of it has to do with living our intermittent fasting and keto-like lifestyle and how we do that as a family. So this is the best platform for us to share this information with you guys. So if you followed me on Instagram or Michael on Instagram, we shared a lot of our vacation there. We shared what we were doing with our feasting, what we were doing with our fasting, and up to our vacation, we shared a lot about what we were doing to get ready, which was really not much more than just living our normal life. So we're going to start with that today. What do you need to do leading up to vacation to get vacation ready? And the best advice that we can give is what, Michael? What did we do leading up to our vacation to get ready to go on vacation?
Well, I can tell you what we didn't do. We didn't diet down. And that's what we do in the past. We go on a vacation like this and man, we get into full drive and diet down and, don't drink any alcohol. Don't eat this, don't eat that. And we would really diet down and over-exercise to where we would just be our fittest when we go on vacation. And what we would find is a day or two in the vacation and you're like, because you have a couple drinks, a couple margaritas and some chips and salsa and tacos and whatever you're eating and all that's gone. So we didn't have to experience that this time because we stayed in the mode. We stayed in our being fat adaptive and being consistent with our workouts and eating a consistent high nutrition dense diet that we didn't have to diet down. Like I just hate that whole concept of having to diet down to lose it all, and we've actually seen a lot of people in social media do that, right? We've seen a lot of people go through that whole diet down ritual and it's only going to last so long. But I feel like what we're doing now is something that can last forever. You just stick to the, staying fat adaptive and getting into burning fat over sugar, burning fat over glucose, and it works. Well,
and I would say that that's the one thing that we really did work on, and we picked like a 6-week period before we went on vacation, and what we wanted to really do. And we're doing this to build up the course that we're about to launch after Mother's Day, which is going to be called our Level 2 course, where we really worked on training our body to be fat adaptive so that we could jump in and out of our routine really quickly and our body would know exactly how to utilize fat as its primary energy source. So we've done a lot of experimenting over the last few weeks with really working out in a truly fasted state and then implementing the right supplements to use to get that enhancement of fat adaptation and keto adaptation during a workout, so you didn't have to rely on carbo loading or anything or food to even fuel your workout. So if we did anything, and it was just a timing thing, it wasn't anything we did necessarily for vacation, but it just worked out that way, we really did hone in on training our body how to become really efficient in a fasted state. So that's what we did leading up to vacation. In the past, we have drastically dieted down. We have drastically over-exercised now to almost what I would consider an unsafe level because you're so desperate to get that a comfortable vacation body. And then like Michael said, man, that first cocktail you have on vacation or that first meal you have on vacation, you go back to normal, right? So when you're dieting down or you're over exercising to extremes and you get to what is an unrealistic physique because you did things that were out of your norm, then as soon as you go back to normal, then you look normal. And then that's what really messes us up, especially women psychologically and emotionally, is that we're like, oh, wait a second, now I'm bloated, or now I'm retaining water, or now I'm fat. No, you're what you were before you started being desperate and dieting down, and you're just normal. But the last emotional connection you had was the diet down look or the diet down feeling. And it takes one day to lose that. It probably took you months to gain it, but it takes one day to lose it, because as soon as you eat normal again, or as soon as you enjoy vacation, then your body just goes back to normal. And psychologically and emotionally, you feel huge. You're not huge, you're just normal. And so that's what we really have practiced probably in the last couple of years, is that we don't do that anymore. We just stay normal leading up to vacation. We stay normal during vacation so that we can be normal after vacation. So when we were on vacation, we just did what we do at home, with the exception of we made the choice to not work out because we were on vacation and we didn't want to wake up early and have to leave our room, which was gorgeous, with an ocean view and a jacuzzi and a cool breeze. We don't have to leave that to go to some gym and fight for dirty equipment. We decided we were going to take a break and we were just going to relax. We started our feast every morning around 11, I think, and we ordered room service to our room, which was pretty normal with the exception of mimosas, which we had, I think, one day, which is pretty normal to what we ate at home because we picked what we wanted to eat, and anything that they brought us that we didn't order, we just chose not to eat. So we had eggs, bacon, and avocado almost every morning to break our fast, which was a couple hours earlier than we do at home. And again, that was a conscious decision we made. So we shortened up our fast and we enjoyed our feast time, which is what you should be doing on vacation. So no need to work out. We took a break, we rested our bodies, and then we ate well. And then what we did is we would just go down to the beach most days and we would hang out on the beach. We would drink our water. We would have our certain whatever cocktail person or whatever bring us our drinks to the beach, and then we tried as best we could to kind of keep the water flowing between drinks. And then we made a decision to go up from the beach and we would have a really nice meal, and then we would go out to dinner at night. So everything was geared toward what we would normally do in any other situation, outside of the fact that we were at a resort and we were at restaurants and people cooked for us. But we asked the right questions. We modified our decisions at a dining out situation just like we would at home. And then we drank lots of carbonated mineral water. And then we celebrated when celebrations were appropriate for us.
And it's important to know that you do fall off a little bit, but it's a different fall off. Like for us now, our falling off is we're falling off into what we normally do. Like Diane said, ordering room service was the food we normally eat. But that's still a little bit of a fall off for us because we don't eat breakfast anymore. Usually, most days of the week we don't. So that's a bit of a fall off for us. But in the past, when you fall off a completely different way. You kind of gorge yourself because it's like all you can eat, all you can drink, and you just start kind of going for it. And you have to be careful. I'm sure there was a few days we probably had a few more drinks than we would normally drink. You start feeling the sun, you're enjoying company, and you're like, oh man, like you kind of lose track. And so that's our falling off, but it's not the same as it has been in the past.
Right. And that's another thing too. And this goes to what I talk about too in restaurants. And it's specifically important in an all-inclusive resort, which is where we were at. So it's like we could have ordered it as many numbers of things as we wanted to, and it's all included in our package deal, is that you don't have to stay at a resort or go out to eat at dinner and feel like it's your last opportunity to have X, Y, or Z or whatever you're doing. So we don't live by that mentality either of, oh, we're at an all-inclusive resort, so we have to have dessert and we have to have this and we have to have that. We have to, because it's paid for. We should just eat it because it's there for us. And we don't have that mentality. Vacation for us is really getting away and checking out in a sense. And just, we slept a lot. We laid on the beach a lot. We hung out in our room, on our patio a lot, and just really slowing down your life in general and not feeling like you have to chase that next included food item. For us, it was really, and this is what vacation is for us now, it's just like chilling out and relaxing. And for so many people, vacation is that thing that comes not often enough in life, right? You either have to try to manage time off work, or you have to save your money to be able to afford it, or you've got to coordinate stuff with your kids' schedules, or whatever it is that's keeping you from enjoying your vacations or taking time out of life to just check out. And then you go on vacation and you can't enjoy yourself because you have all these things you have to live up to. And so we've really changed our even philosophy and mentality about vacation, and the fact that it's just like we want vacation to just do nothing.
Just relax.
Just do nothing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you have to constantly be chasing down a food cart or a food item or indulge in things that you normally wouldn't because you're calling it a vacation. Just take the time to do what it is that most people set out to do on vacation. That's get away from your busy, hectic life and just take some downtime. And that means downtime from indulging in things as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And sometimes you, like Diane's saying, you can get stressed out about things you shouldn't be stressed out about. Like on past vacations, we've stressed out about our schedule and we got to get up early so we can go do this excursion and come back. And then we got to do this. And then we have to meet these people and meet those people. And then we have to do, and before you know it, you've worked yourself into some high cortisol levels. It's like, this
vacation exhaustion.
Yeah, like no, we didn't do that. We were like, let's chill. Let's just chill. And our next vacation, we're going to go back to Mexico in June, and we'll incorporate some work. We've already planned it. We're going to work out.
We'll be there for 7 days.
We're going to be there 7 days. We're going to probably work out every day. We're going to be with the kids, and we're going to hang out at the beach. I mean, so it'll be a different kind of vacation. But this vacation was to chill. Yeah. Just relax.
Yep.
And it paid off today, right? I mean, our workout today was incredible.
Yeah, we worked out today for the first time in 5 days, and we were super strong and we were super focused and we were fat adapted because we didn't really take ourselves out of that mode when we were on vacation. So we're not like having to detox ourselves. And so that's what we wanted to kind of have our third point be about today's talk is how do you recover well from vacation? Well, you recover well from vacation by making sure that when you start vacation, you don't set yourself up for failure by doing what we were talking about at the beginning is you don't extremely diet down. You don't extremely exercise yourself into something that's not something that you can handle every single day on a normal time frame. And so we don't diet down. So there's no preconceived emotional connections to what's not realistic for our physiques or our body or our lifestyle. We go on vacation with the mental and emotional realization of we're here to relax and what our boundaries are for our vacation, what our guidelines are for our vacation. And we set those up before we went. We'll do the same thing when we go on vacation again in about 5 or 6 weeks when we take the kids with us. And then we accept vacation for what it's supposed to be. So then when we come home, like we rolled into today and yesterday and we got back from the airport, like we got home, we fasted on the plane for a pretty long amount of time. We were drinking our water. We got home, we emptied our suitcases, we completely unpacked, we picked up the kids, we got the dog, we had dinner with the family, we went to bed early or whenever it is we decided to go to bed last night. And we woke up this morning totally feeling like we have nothing to recover from. And a lot of times people go on vacation and they're like, oh my gosh, I went on vacation and now I need a vacation from vacation because you come back and you're exhausted. A lot of that is because you do all these things that aren't the norm for you, or you make all these exceptions to your own rules or your own boundaries or your own guidelines. And then you come back. And I know friends that were on the same vacation we were just on who are already planning their detox, their refresh, their diet, their now extreme mode of exercising to recover from vacation. And that's a really sad way to live your life, that you're chasing some unrealistic goal to go on vacation. You live your vacation within unrealistic boundaries and guidelines because you're going off the deep end with everything. And then you come back and you have to go back to unrealistic goals and expectations to recover from the unrealistic goals and expectations you set yourself up with. And so that's where we get into that hamster wheel of emotional disconnect and disappointment and regret and remorse, and then we're beating ourselves up and oh heck, I gained 10 pounds on vacation, so what the heck, let me just keep going on that path because I already feel like crap anyways and I don't fit in my clothes, and then that's where we fall off the deep end. And we just refuse to live our lives that way. And we don't want you guys to live your lives that way either. So there's nothing we have to make up for today or moving forward. There's no weight we need to lose. There's no water retention we need to get rid of. Neither one of us are bloated. We don't feel hungover. We don't feel tired. We're ready to start our life right back up where we left off on our last day of vacation, which is rested and ready to go back to what it is that we were doing. So those are some tips that we really want you guys to start thinking about, because we are getting into vacation season. And the last thing you ever want to do is come back from vacation moaning and groaning about how you should have done this, or how you shouldn't have done that, or I regret doing this, or I shouldn't have done that, or I wish we would have done this differently. And then feeling like your whole vacation was a waste of your time, your dedication, whatever discipline you had to put in place to earn it, the money that you spent to get there, and then the time that you spent with people is something that you regret. You don't want to live your life in regret. So make sure you set up those boundaries. Make sure that before you go, you have very realistic expectations of where you're starting from. Live your best life and your most authentic life when you're on vacation. Don't become someone else or fall into the crowd of other people when you're on vacation. And then come back knowing that you did the best that you wanted to do when you're on vacation, that you followed your own guidelines, and then just start right back up from your last day of vacation. And that's exactly what we did. We're totally rested. We're ready to get back into working out. We don't have to do any extreme fasting or cleansing of our system. We fasted today for 20 hours like we would any other day that we're home. We're going to eat well tonight with our family. I think we're going to go eat Mexican food, because when you come back from a Mexican vacation, the first thing you should do is go eat more Mexican food, because we feel like we're in a little bit of withdrawals, and we're not going to worry about anything. We're just going to be ourselves with our family and just continue on with our happiness.
There's something I want to touch on is there's a lot of room, like Diane always talks about staying authentic. There's a lot of room to stay authentic. Like, if you decide one night after dinner you're going to have some dessert, go for it. I mean, we had a couple nights where we were like, yeah, that sounds good. And you try something, and if it's not suiting you, then you just don't eat it. Or you eat it, it tastes good, you go for it. Mm-hmm. Or you have some beers or margaritas or whatever.
Or chips and guacamole.
I know there's something I did I could tell you that I won't do again, but I'm a big hazelnut chocolate fan, and they were bringing these little chocolates, with the turn down, and I'm like, hazelnut, yeah. And what are they called? You can buy that brand. Yeah. I forget what the brand is called, but they were good.
Ferrero Rocher, something like that.
And Diane refused. She wouldn't touch him. She was smart. She's like, no way. But I'm like, I'm going to be authentic. I'm going to have these chocolates. And it didn't work out too well for me. I mean, I just didn't sleep good. I felt like I was going to die, and I just woke up thinking like, yeah, what went wrong? Because it didn't feel like it was anything from alcohol, or it wasn't anything like that. It wasn't that type of a feeling. But then I thought about it. I was like, man, it was that chocolate is what it was. And so I did that for a night or so, and I'm like,
but then what we always say too, and if you take my courses, this is how I like to teach you guys how to live your life and how we've lived our life too, is he didn't like beat himself up about it. He was like, dang it, like those are my favorite chocolates, but I know better and any other night I wouldn't eat them, but they did the turn down service in our room, and they put our slippers by our bed and the cute little chocolates on the bed. And so you kind of fall and you get suckered into that whole, like,
I got suckered
kind of romantic thing of having someone treat you like that. And so one night he did it and it was done. And so then we took the candies and we threw them away every other night.
But then when I thought about it, I'm like, well, how dumb was that? I mean, I wasn't kicking myself, but I was thinking, we usually eat, when we eat chocolate, it's that 75%.
Well, it's soy-free, dairy-free, and that stuff's not soy-free or dairy-free. No, not at all. That's why I wouldn't touch it. The other thing you guys should know when you go on vacation, especially for our friends who are going to be going to all-inclusive resorts, wherever you're going around the world, is you can tell them how to stock your room. So we told them, the first day we got there, take all the diet sodas, take all the Gatorades out of our refrigerator. We only want bottled water. And there was like a selection of beers or whatever in there, and we only asked for the beer that we wanted to drink. And so you can be very selective about those kind of things. Don't be afraid to ask. them to cater to you. Remember, you're the consumer. They want you to be happy in their resort. So tell them what you want. So every day our refrigerator was stocked with sparkling mineral water and bottled water, and then the beer that we asked them to put in the refrigerator. And there was no issues with getting what we wanted as well. And then the other thing I was going to say, talking about, about even alcohol consumption. So I made the mistake one day of not drinking water and drinking margaritas, and I was sick as a dog. And it wasn't so much that I over-consumed margaritas. It wasn't like I drank more margaritas than I did on any other day. But I didn't follow my own rule because I became unconscious, wrapping up in conversation with some friends of ours. And next thing you know, you're on the beach, and you didn't eat enough, and then you're feeling super sick. And so I'll do what I always say: flank your alcohol with water. Water, alcohol, so that you're slowing down how much you're consuming. You're flushing your body out with some nice amounts of water. You're feeling full from the water, and then you don't get yourself caught up in that extra sugar as well, especially for those of us who are fat adaptive and are really cutting out your carbohydrates. Is you got to make sure that you're very conscious of how your body's now going to break that down chemically, and are you going to be able to handle it? And again, you don't beat yourself up over it if you make a mistake. We all make mistakes. We get caught up in the moment. You just go, I know better than that. Yeah. Let me make sure I can get some water back in me and make sure I don't do that again. Stay conscious. Have your partner, whoever you're vacationing with, go, hey, we should probably be drinking some water. Because it's easy to get caught up in the moment of being out in the sun and being on the beach or wherever it is you're going on vacation.
The conversation. The sun is good. Everything's perfect. And, the girl keeps coming by, and she's like, well, there was a guy too, and they just kind of drop them off, so you look and we're refilled already, and you're deep in the conversation. We met some great people. I mean, people we've never even met before, on the beach, and so had some great conversations going, and the sun's good. The water, the ocean's beautiful. And you really have to watch. I mean, because if you're not watching your water and you're getting a lot of sun and you're having great conversation, it's really easy to get to that point to that you're just getting that mode of this feels good, but you're not paying attention anymore. And when you stop paying attention is when you're going to.
Yeah, and your body won't like it. Like I always talk about signs and signals. So you'll get those signs and signals that your body's unhappy with what you're putting into it because it can't process it. It can't break it down. And then it's going to start screaming at you. So that's my big tip about alcohol on vacation too, especially if you're not consuming a lot and you're really watching your carbs. You have to be very aware of that so it doesn't catch you blindsided.
The one positive side about drinking on vacation is, especially in Mexico, I don't know what it is, but those beers there taste better than they do here.
Well,
and they're not, and I think we've talked about it on this channel before. There's beers that I just cannot drink anymore. They don't make me feel good. And it's the way they're processing it here in the United States of America. They're putting high yeast, products in the beer so they can shelf it longer. And one of my favorite beers was purchased by a huge beer company, and they changed the whole process. It used to be it was a great Texas beer. Now it's turned into something that I can't even touch because they're pumping it full of all kinds of bad stuff. So you have to pay attention to that too. You can drink different ways based on the country you're in. Like, I don't know what they're doing in Mexico, but they keep it pretty clean as far as when it comes to beer.
So those are our vacation tips. Like I said, leading into vacation, we're going to be going right back. So we got about 6 or 7 weeks home, and then we're going to go to Mexico for another 7 days. We'll take you guys along with us again, and we plan on doing it exactly the same way because it works for us. We're not dieting down over the next 6 weeks. We're not going to do anything out of the norm. We're going to continue to train our bodies in a fasted state. We're going to stay fat adaptive. We're going to keep our supplements up that we're using. We're going to make sure that we're feasting well, fasting well, and then staying very aware of how it is our body's responding to all that, so that when we go on vacation, again, we can just go right into our normal life on vacation. We can enjoy our time with our family, come back and jump right back into life. There's nothing worse than feeling like you're losing time. Don't lose time when you've worked so hard to get time to unwind and relax. The last thing you want to do is come back feeling like you've lost time or you've gone backwards. always think about your life moving forward and make decisions based on that. So let me welcome everyone real quick, see if there's any questions or comments. And then Michael and I are going to bust out of here and pick the kids up from school.
We're expecting a call at 3:30 before that.
And our little Gabby is running a track meet tonight. So we're going to go watch her run track. Veronica, welcome. Good to have you here. Cindy, hello. Jillian. Learning a lot from you guys. On vacation for 2 weeks to England in May, going to use these tips. Yeah, definitely in England you want to do that because that's the warm beer and bread capital and deep fried food of the world, I think. Right, Jillian? The time I went to England, at least that's what I remember. Catherine, good afternoon. Debbie, hello from Pennsylvania. Leslie's, just real. Yeah, we're always going to give it to you guys real here. Don't worry about that. Jana, listening from Phoenix, welcome. Veronica, I did the same thing in San Antonio, ate gelato, and oh my, I was so sick. My body didn't like that at all. Yeah, and and the cool thing, I guess, I don't know, but when you're really tuned into your body and you stop as soon as you feel those things, those negative reactions to your body not liking what you're doing, that's key. So that's why I really train all of you to listen to the signs and signals your body's sending you, so you stop force feeding yourself when something's not working, and you just change paths and try to get yourself recovered as fast as possible by fasting it away and drinking lots of water. So thanks so much again for being on vacation with us. We loved sharing it with you guys. We had the time of our lives. Can't wait to go back to Mexico. And if you guys are going on vacation and you need some tips or tricks or a little advice from us, always feel free to reach out to us. We're always willing to share. And then stay tuned because we're going to start working on getting our level 2 course, which we're going to invite men and couples to. Which will be starting right after Mother's Day. And we're going to really start working on fasting, feasting, and fitness. So if you're interested in incorporating all of those three things in our level 2 course, is definitely going to be
a lot of exciting stuff
what you want to get into, and we're going to be doing it together. So we're super excited. So thanks for joining us. Have a super fantastic Friday. Enjoy your weekend, and then we'll see you guys back on Monday over on my channel on Facebook.
Thanks,
have a good one.
All right, you guys have a good weekend.